Welcome to Read and Learn English, your home for meaningful stories told in simple English. Today's story is called A Unique Experience, a true-to-life tale that will touch your heart and leave you thinking deeply about kindness, integrity, and silent strength. Listen carefully, and if you feel moved, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let's begin. A unique experience. It was a cold, windy evening in early winter. The city was slowly slipping into silence as streetlights flickered on, and most people hurried home to escape the chilly air. My friend Arjun and I had finally found time to meet after almost a year. Life had taken us in different directions, and between work, family, and responsibilities, we had drifted apart. But tonight, we were together again, and we couldn't stop talking. We sat on a park bench near the central square, under a dim street lamp, lost in conversation. We laughed at old memories from school, shared stories of our new jobs, talked about relationships, and dreamt about the future. Hours passed unnoticed. Our fingers were numb from the cold, and yet we stayed, wrapped in memories and friendship. By the time we looked at the time, it was already close to 10 at night. We realized it was late and decided we should head home. The buses had stopped, and our legs were too tired to walk the long distance. So we agreed to take an auto rickshaw. Pulling our jackets tighter against the wind, we walked to the main road and began waving at the passing rickshaws. The road wasn't very crowded, but there were a few autos. We tried flagging them down, but one by one they all drove past us without stopping. Some looked the other way, and some simply ignored us. It was raining lightly now, and the cold had become sharper. We stood by the roadside, our shoulders slowly getting wet, and our patience wearing thin. Just then, a rickshaw slowed down near us and came to a stop. The driver, a thin man with tired eyes and a kind face, looked at us quietly. "Where to?" he asked in a soft voice. We told him our destination. Without asking for any fare, he simply said, "Please get in." We looked at each other and said, "Thank you," as we stepped into the rickshaw, grateful that someone had finally stopped for us. The vehicle rattled and buzzed as it moved forward, and I noticed that the plastic sheet on the sides of the rickshaw had a small hole. Cold wind and tiny drops of rain made their way in. Arjun and I pulled our hands inside our sleeves and tried to keep warm. After a few minutes, I turned to the driver and said, "Bhaiya, can you stop at a tea shop or a small restaurant? We'd love to have a cup of hot tea. It's freezing tonight." The driver nodded and silently steered the rickshaw toward a small tea shop that had yellow lights glowing warmly. The smell of boiling milk and spices floated in the air. We got down and quickly ordered 2 steaming cups of masala tea. The shop was simple, with a tin roof, wooden benches, and a small fire burning in one corner. I looked back and saw the driver sitting quietly in his seat. "Why don't you come and have a cup of tea with us?" I called out. He smiled politely and shook his head. "Thank you, sir, but I'll wait here." I was surprised. "Please, it's cold. A cup of tea will warm you up." He smiled again. "No, sir, thank you. I'm fine." Arjun joined in. "What's the matter, Bhaiya? You don't drink tea from this shop or something?" The driver looked away for a moment and said gently, "No, sir. I just don't feel like having tea right now." I couldn't understand it. It was late. He was working. It was cold. Tea would help him stay awake and warm. Please, 1 cup won't do any harm, I insisted. Again, he declined. I'm sorry, sir. Please don't mind. Arjun asked again. Are you against eating or drinking outside? He replied quietly. No. By now, I was confused and a bit embarrassed. There was nothing rude in his tone, just something quiet and deep I couldn't explain. I told Arjun, let it be. If he doesn't want tea, we shouldn't push him. We finished our tea, got back into the rickshaw, and continued our journey. The rest of the ride was mostly silent. I kept thinking about the driver's strange refusal. Something about him felt heavy, as if he was carrying pain inside. 15 minutes later, we reached our home. The meter showed a reasonable fare, and we paid him the amount. He thanked us politely and was about to drive away. But something inside me wouldn't let him go. Maybe it was the quietness in his voice or the look in his eyes. I stopped him and walked over to the driver's side. Paya, please don't mind me asking, I said gently. Why didn't you have tea with us? You've been working late in this weather. It's okay if you didn't want to. I'm just curious. The driver looked at me for a moment and then lowered his eyes. After a short silence, he said something that shook me to the core. My son passed away this afternoon, sir. He met with an accident. His voice cracked slightly but remained calm. I don't have enough money for his funeral, so I took a vow that I will not drink even water until I earn enough for the last rites of my son. We stood there in stunned silence. He continued, I don't want to take money from anyone, sir. I just need a few more rides. In 1 or 2 hours, I will have enough. That's why I'm still driving. Please don't misunderstand me. My heart dropped. Arjun looked away, tears in his eyes. I fumbled in my wallet and took out some extra cash. Please, I said. This is for your son. It's not charity. It's our prayer for him. But he folded his hands and shook his head. Thank you for your kindness, sir. But I want to do this on my own. Let me earn it. That's the only thing I can do for my son now. And with that, he gave a small nod and slowly drove away into the night. We stood there for a long time, frozen not by the cold, but by what we had just heard. We had offered him tea to be kind, but he had shown us something much greater: strength, dignity, and a kind of love that words cannot describe. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that man, his quiet voice, his tired eyes, his unbelievable courage. In a world where people often ask for help even when they don't need it, here was a man who was in deep pain, yet refused to beg. A man who was hungry, grieving, and tired, but still chose to keep his word to his son. We meet many people in life. Some stay in our memory because of what they say. Others stay because of what they do. But a few, like that rickshaw driver, stay with us forever because of who they are. Thank you for listening to this emotional story on Read and Learn English. If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment below and tell us what you felt. Like and share this story with someone who believes in human goodness. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring and meaningful stories in simple English. Until next time, stay kind, stay strong, and keep learning. See you again soon.